Well, I was arguing with Copilot, Chat GBT, and the Elon Muskrat's Grok, and I asked these artificial intelligence program databases how much it costs to print a $100 reserve note, or 100 helicopter dollar reserve note, I should say. So they both came back with, 11 and a half to like 13 cents a copy. 11 and a half to 13 cents a copy for a 100 helicopter reserve note bill. The American shin plaster. But back to my point here. So I went back to these artificial intelligence programmed databases that are not real boys. They're puppets. They're programmed. And I asked them, I said, so with the profit from the first $100 helicopter, fiat bill, how many more can you print? Well, they said between 670 and 800, depending on a couple of factors. So, all right. So let's just take the 670. 670 times 100 is how much? Is that 67,000? 67,000 helicopter reserve note bills at let's just say 13 cents a copy. How many more hundreds reserve note, fiat, helicopter, quantitative easing bills, shin plaster can you print with the 67,000 that you profited from the first one? You want to call your lifeline? So my point here is that for 13 cents or so, you can print unlimited amounts of shin plaster, fiat, helicopter, quantitative easing bills. And I got into it even further with the keystroking, and according to these artificial intelligence, they're not real boys. They're Pinocchio, like puppets. They're programmed computers, databases. You can print endlessly. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to get to something pretty serious here. And that is how the government is a parasite. The government is, it's pure communism is what it is. They create money for nothing, and they work you like a serf. They create money out of the thin air for nothing, and they own all the parks and the forests, and they own the highway systems and most of the utility grid, and they own all the courthouses and the government buildings, and you're just there to pay for it with your sweat of your brow, your blood, sweat, and tears. You're a serf. Y'all are serfs. And all this bullshit going on in this world from when Trump and Milakowski decided to attack Iran, and invade Venezuela and overthrow Venezuela and blockade Cuba and threaten Greenland with we're going to take you over one way or the other, even using military force. Donald Trump is a criminal psychotic. And the only reason he's in the Oral Office is the SCROTUS, the scumbag Supreme Court John Roberts and his pals, the SCROTUS, they like criminal Trump because they're a bunch of criminals themselves with all their gratuities and their stinking American Bar Association. I said that correctly. The reason the country's all fucked up is because of the bar associations. Yeah, they've legitimized this thing called socialism, community, communism. They've legitimized it. Uh-huh. You don't live in a democracy, and the republic's been dead a long time. It's all about who's controlling the keystroking and the printing presses of the shinplaster, the helicopter quantitative easing fiat bills, the hocus pocus, what do you call it there? Phony baloney money. That's what David Stockman, look up David Stockman. If you're old enough to remember David Stockman, you'll know something. The phony baloney money, also known as MMT. Boy, I'll tell you what, I got this Goomba. He's a Goomba up in Park City. His name is Patrick Lovell. And oh man, he's got the $71 trillion truth. And I keep trying to tell him, man, Lovell, there ain't no dollars. It's all helicopter script, shinplaster, fiat, phony baloney, quantitative easing crap. You know, he goes off on this MMT bullshit. You hear that, Lovell? MMT bullshit. Yeah. So, you've got all these wars, and you got all these transgender, you know, what do you call it there? Surgery to make girls out of boys and boys out of girls. They got transgender. I guess if you're transgender and you've had your sexual junk mutilated by surgery, I don't know, maybe you can't reproduce anymore. So I guess it's kind of population control in one way you're looking at it, isn't it? I guess if the gays just keep on being gay, we don't have to worry about the birth rate, apparently. Man, you talk about, man, these people, they've thought of everything. And then you got Bill Gates mosquitoes, and you got the hantavirus ship. Who owns and operates that hantavirus ship? Who are the board of directors behind that hantavirus ship? Are they World Economic Forum? CDC? How much you want to bet? How much you want to bet they're financed by the World Economic Forum? Bill Gates and his lipid nanoparticles there. Yeah. I got my YouTube channel shut down. I was reading directly from the Precision Nanosystems site up in Vancouver, British Columbia. I was reading right off the Precision Nanosystems website, and BlackRock Alphabet YouTube accused me of spreading medical misinformation, so they shut down 1,700 of my videos. YouTube, I swear, you know, the U censor YouTube, that's for Judge Dowdy down there in Shreveport and Lafayette, Louisiana. Judge Dowdy and McCluskey. That's why they shut my YouTube and Google down, because I was reading off the Precision Nanosystems website up in Vancouver, British Columbia. What a load of shit. The censorship industrial complex. Yeah, censorship industrial complex, and here comes the data centers. And you know what I've learned about AI? It's all programming. Elon Musk's Grok is all programming. And as soon as I challenge the status quo, as soon as I bring some intellectual facts, some history into the discussion, Grok goes off and calls me fringe. He calls me a conspiracy theorist. Just immediately starts attacking my intellectual character. And I got a message for Grok, and I got a message for ChatGPT and Copilot. I'm a real boy. I'm not a damn puppet like you people. You people are not that people. You're not even people, man. You're programs, your software. That's all you are with your databases. In America, have you ever wondered, we've lived all these years with internet and stuff. What's all up with all these data centers? What are they collecting on everything, on all of us? What are these data centers up to, really? What is the purpose of their function? Like AI, what the hell's the purpose of that? So that the computer databases can lie to all the children coming up like MK Ultra and Operation Paperclip and Monarch and COINTELPRO and what was that one there that was so powerful? Prism, the computer program called Prism, where they spy on everybody. What are all these computers doing? Anyways, what's their function? Donald Trump? Come on, Trump. Come on, Donnie. Mobster Donnie. What an absolute piece of shit you are, Mobster Donnie. And all your pals, bikers for Trump. Yeah. And all your Ku Klux Klan and your Aryan nations and all your Nazi pals, your Zionist, Chabadian, Lubavitch Nazi buddies, your Ashkenazi Jews. Right, Miriam? Come on, Miriam. I guess her name's Adelson. Miriam Adelson. Gave Trump $250 million to become the head mobster guy, Mafia Don. America, America, America. Y'all need to wake up. You need to do it in a hurry because these well-financed orgies, they're spending helicopter dollars, helicopter bucks, quantitative easing shin plaster, printed right out of the thin air and used as ammunition against you, the serfs. And I'll guarantee you one thing, I've studied communism a lot more than most people ever will, and I am certain of this. Government is a community communist scam. Ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful day, and as always, hasta la vista, God bless, and you can bet you one thing, we're coming back.